Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls of Guild and Coin. Picking up on part 2 of session 5, I think this is. Amrit has donned the garb of a worm cultist, and is now strutting calmly down the hallway. Amrit.
Yes.
Let's see how this plays out.
Fireball!
You're fireballing them?
I wanna... Because I'm in the regalia, I wanna use it split second.
There you go.
You're only gonna get a split second before 0
Maybe try.
And then you
using
won't
the
be able to
clothes you put
fireball
on before
because
walking up and fireballing them directly.
If you want them while they're still in fireball formation, your window is slowly closing.
You know what? Down the hallway.
You do what down the hallway?
I will gesture to them like I'm greeting and gonna talk to them for a second. And then I will use one focus point to subtle spell my fireball.
Well met and merry meet!
Are we just gonna, murder Duncan?
I have a very limited amount of time, I know this.
Duncan, you're about 20 feet away from them. You were able to get fairly close.
I'm not part of the fireball formation.
So,
You're just outside of it.
alright, go ahead and, they all need to make dexterity saving throws.
Yes, please.
I'm going to have
And
them do so...
Please.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to have them do so at disadvantage.
That one bastard's like, oh, hello, friend!
I love how we put on these robes to be like, hello, fireball!
Fireball.
And I can inform you that all 5 of them take full damage.
Oh, yes. Okay. Let's do this. Go on my dice.
I blessed your dice, love you.
This is how we do it.
I forgot I still have my drink in my hands.
Oh my god.
This whole time I actually still have my drink in my hand.
This shit again, I swear to god.
It's supposed to be this way.
Josh,
Mm-hmm.
it's 26 damage on Defiable.
Okay.
Fear bell.
Give me a moment to calculate all that, because it's a lot.
And I want to put on my surprise face like I didn't just do that.
Oh my god, where did that come from?
How much damage was that again?
Such a surprise!
26.
26?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
Yes, please.
right in front of you, Toshtar, the light goes, or
Apply the damage.
the room goes from being lit by blue light to being lit by an orangey green light. And for a split instant, as this massive fireball just shows up in the middle of the group. And when the fire dissipates, there is no longer a Khajiit there. And there is no longer a Dunmer there. Which is kind of ironic because Dunmer typically are resistant to fire.
Oops.
Uh,
Wasn't resistant enough.
So you believably go,
He tried.
my, what happened here?
I apologize for disintegrating your companions.
No, he subtly disintegrated the companions and then pretended to be surprised.
You turn around, you're like, where did that fireball come from? Oh my god, it must have been one of these people behind me. Get him!
Is that what you're doing, Emery? Just
Companions, let's get
must have been these people behind me.
Sure,
These
why not?
assholes, I'm on your
They're not
side.
going to live long enough, so it's fine.
All right.
We could
Um,
pretend to join their side and then stab them in the back.
Everybody.
Talk to them, but I know she is a ticking time bomb.
Clearly the bard
She's like,
over
there's already
there.
a bomb in the room, and I want to be the one to say.
All right, everybody, go ahead and roll initiative for me, please.
Just gotta open my Google Chrome window here
Wow.
real quick. All right.
I got 12. Oh,
Now you gotta put it in the thing.
well, I remember. Jeez.
I got a 22 to feign surprise. Duncan!
Yes.
Duncan and I have to reroll.
No, just compare your agility scores.
Compare your
Really?
dicks.
I got +5 agility.
Damn it! I thought I had +5 for a second. I was like, oh, get wrecked. No, Duncan goes.
Princess.
Yay.
I'm so surprised I got a 3. That's a good,
She's trying to do it.
So the murder blender goes first?
you're off.
Hold on, I still have.
It's actually Murder Machine. You can read it right there.
I'm so surprised I got
Oh.
3. Well, at
You're
least I'm
so
not.
shocked by your own ability to murder that you just standing there in awe for a second.
Just like, I just did that.
Oh my god. Well, I better just sit down and take a break.
Take a quick
So, let's see here. Tashdar and Lilith, what are your dexterity scores?
Mine
Duncan's is
+5.
much higher. His is +5.
Because I also have to compare it to Srothadar's dexterity.
Mine is +2.
Okay. So you've got 2 +5s. Duncan, roll a d20 for me, please.
Just a 13.
Okay. So you'll go ahead of Srathadar.
Just a 13 was enough.
And then let's see.
You goddamn fuck ass. Bam, 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 bam. Oh my god, it's a dinosaur.
Our theme instead of Jeopardy. Yeah.
All right. So first
That's where that went.
in the turn order is Zira.
Okay.
Get him, tiny murder machine.
Murder machine.
Moving past Emery down the hall towards the orcs that seem, I assume, surprised as they are toasted. Ooh, toasted orc. I'm sure Tashdar is going to be so
Yeah.
his meat selection.
Duncan's mouth is watering. His invisible mouth is watering.
Yeah, I'll attack one of the orcs because I'm assuming they're closer.
Okay.
26 to hit.
That hits.
Yay! For 13 points of damage.
Okay.
Is he still up?
He is still up.
Okay. 20 to hit.
Yes.
Okay. $15 points of damage.
So you start coming in with just like this flurry of blade work, and this orc is having a hard time getting his greatsword up to block it all. And before he can really get much of a chance to defend himself, blood starts pouring from his neck where your blade slashed him, and he
Does it
crumples. He crumples to the ground. Yes. All right.
Awesome. And then she rages.
Good God.
God damn, how could so much anger be such
Yeah, and she just looks at him and she just
a
screams
tiny person?
at the other orc and the other cultist that is left.
Are you trying to intimidate?
Okay, how do you...
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and roll an intimidate check for me, please.
This kind of reminds me of that meme where it says like so much anger in like tinier like object, such as spiders and Zira.
She only has room for one emotion at a time.
And it's always anger.
It is.
Always anger.
It's casual indifference or anger.
15 for intimidate, as she just like ran up, cut down this orc, and she just screams at the other orc with that like, "Fight me!"
So the Breton wets his pants. The orc, on the other hand, the orc yells back.
Oh.
Careful now, he's begun the mating ritual.
Oh my god.
Excuse you, but that child.
He
Sounds
swings.
like the child is.
He swings
down.
his greatsword down at the angry child in front of him. How does a 25 do?
That'll hit.
Okay.
That would hit me
do.
twice.
So
Shitty
that's
armor class.
9 slashing damage. And he swings his sword back up, using the follow-through to give him some more leverage on his backswing. And whiffs.
Nice.
Um,
Nice shot, you loser.
next up is Tashtar.
So, are they away from the door now?
All of this is happening in front of the door. They haven't had a chance to move before Zira just rushed in.
Okay.
Duncan's wanting to try to sneak past.
I am trying to. I mean,
not
I
a bad
have
idea.
another bad idea on my list of bad ideas. What is the door made out of?
Duncan,
Stone.
what can get any worse than your past ideas?
Wow.
The door's made out of solid stone.
Okay, are there any like cracks or gaps there?
You'd have to get closer and do a perception check.
Mm. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see if I can get as close as possible without
Okay.
being murdered.
You're currently invisible because of the shadows.
Yes.
So I would
Not
like you to.
because of the shadows, but because of the burst sign ability.
Oh, okay. So I'd like you to do a stealth check as you try to sneak past the mage.
Okay. 25.
Oliver.
Yeah, you manage to sneak right past him. And you start feeling along the edges of the door. This one doesn't appear to be magically sealed. So you think
Okay.
you might be able to open it with just enough with enough strength.
Oh, I'm not opening it. At least not from this side.
It's just molesting the door.
No. I'm going to cast, which is probably going to make me not invisible anymore, but you'll see why I'm doing it in a moment. Gaseous form on myself.
I see what you're doing. Okay, you cast gaseous
Doesn't
form.
need to be invisible if you can't hit him.
Yep. You cast gaseous form and you turn into a bit of a mist. And you slide with ease through the crack between the door and the jamb.
Real
Okay.
quick, before Josh, goes into his narrative mode, as your friend, I wish you the best, but I really hope you materialize into a room full of enemies. Like,
Enemies.
just there's
Go
two at the
Gash's
door
form
when
to
you
the other side. There's like
materialize.
40 cultists all waiting for him, magic and all at the ready.
And he's like,
Hey, if that's the case, I'll just go back through the door.
this is a mistake. That's all I want.
Okay.
I just imagine going through the door, going, that's a problem. Back here first.
Hey guys, that door's about to burst open, just so you know. I'd run.
All right, so next up is Lilith.
Me?
Yeah.
So wait,
There's two.
there are two people. Okay.
There's an orc and a Breton who pissed himself. He was not wearing the brown pants. Or the yellow pants.
Too bad he is actually wearing white pants.
Oh god. Yeah, I've been doing okay damage with my katana, so I might as well just go up and slash them.
Slash them,
Which one?
dash them. Just like Fruit Ninja.
Are any of them damaged currently, or?
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh yeah, huh? Because of the fireball.
Yep.
I'm gonna go end the other guy's humiliation by trying to murder him. The guy who peed himself. The red guy.
Oh, okay. The Breton.
Breton. Yeah. Go.
The red card.
Slice and dice him.
This poor Breton, while he's sitting there pissing himself, this Dunmer
21?
out of nowhere and just like shank. It was easier this way.
21.
20 what?
21.
That definitely hits.
2-1. Oh yeah. 12 damage.
How do you kill him?
Uh.
I'm just imagining you going up, it's okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll just go. It's okay, and then like grab his shoulder as if I'm comforting him, and then just stab him.
Goddamn.
You don't have to be embarrassed anymore.
All right. Srothadar from the back of the group is kind of, and by back of the group, I mean he's like maybe only 20 feet away. You guys had all pretty much rushed in. He kind of lets out a yelp in excitement, and he's going to run toward the orc. And let's see here. And he is going to not hit the orc.
Nice.
He brings out a rapier and he runs up just short of the orc and just starts flourishing it.
Where did he get the weapon?
I think it was while you were using the restroom.
In the storeroom.
Yeah, Zira found where all the stuff was being held.
Okay, gotcha. I definitely missed that. You were like, the one guy grabbed rocks, and I was like, but this guy has a rapier? Got a rock thrower and a guy who...
No, the kid who grabbed the rocks now also has two swords.
Yeah, well, he dropped the rocks.
Oh, that's true.
Chulinak, it's your turn.
He's still holding the rocks.
Yeesh. Yeesh.
I'm really curious to get through this turn to see how our gaseous friend is doing.
I'm doing fine, thank you.
No. I mean, yes, but no. True, but false.
Okay. Alright. I want to throw a dart because I can do that.
You want to do what?
Throw a dart at the orc.
Go for it.
Why are you laughing?
Go ahead.
I was hoping like stab in the neck or something, you know? Or like get his attention.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Throw the dart. Throw the dart.
The dart. Throw the dart. I got a 12.
The dart flies through the air, and just when you think it's going to hit his neck, it pings off of his armor and falls harmlessly to the ground.
Oh, dang. Okay, well, there's that. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Alright.
look that one up.
But Lee, that caused attention, I'm guessing, so distract him from the other people.
It is.
Yeah, he'll really be torn up about that one.
It is not the Breton's turn. Amrit.
How many are left?
Just the orc.
Oh.
Yeah. Pea Pants is dead.
He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do Toll the Dead.
Okay. You guys hear the tolling of a bell, like an ethereal bell.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
And I do not remember
No,
what
not
that's.
my old doorbell.
I do not remember what that spell does. I think it's part of the Elder Scrolls supplements spell
it is
list.
Not.
It's not?
That is a 5e spell.
Toll the Dead?
It's basically, if they have not been damaged, it does a D10. If they have been damaged, then it does a D12. And they make a wisdom saving throw, I think.
You have it on?
I have it on my spell card. Let me go find it. Toll the Dead.
I'ma go find it.
I'ma go find it.
A will live whatever saving throw, or take 1d8 necrotic damage if any of its hit points. Instead, takes 1d12.
So he needs to do a willpower saving throw?
Yes.
Okay.
You're at a higher level.
Cool as shit spell.
Yes. What?
He got a 14 on that.
He fails.
Okay. So he starts hearing the knoll of a death bell, and his eyes widen. Go ahead and do your damage.
So 10 damage.
Okay. Just as before, the bony hands start reaching up out of the floors, and because of the nature of this hallway, some of the hands even start coming out of the walls, and trying to pull at him. He's not down yet. He's definitely wrestling with them, though. Next up is Yujin, who runs forward screaming, much in a similar manner to Zira.
Weird how that goes.
Think Xena battle cry.
The first swing of the blade pings off of the orc's armor, and the second one actually ends up getting hung up on some of the skeleton hands, and he has to wrestle it out of the skeleton hand. Zira.
Yay!
Yay!
Nat 20.
That hits.
Alright, so I crit this mofo.
Hmm.
For 27 points of damage.
So you don't even wait for him to try to get out of the skeletal hands. You just plunge your blades right into his helm, and he goes limp.
Okay. She'll go over to so they're all dead. She'll go over to the door. Is there, like, it doesn't look like there's any little, like, magic buttons, right?
There is one, but before we go to that, let us switch over to our gaseous friend.
Okay.
So Duncan.
Ghastly.
Yep, Raven's got it. Pokemon have entered the Elder Scrolls world.
There's a mod for that.
When you rematerialize on the other side of the door, Duncan, you find that you're standing in a stairway. It heads downward, and it looks like it turns right after a little ways.
All right. Can I see if the door behind me is like unlocked by anything? Or just open it for them.
There does appear to be a crystal panel, but before you get a chance to touch it, the door slides open, and Zira's hand is on a matching panel on the other side of the door.
Okay.
Okay. So, you guys work your way down the stairwell, and eventually you get into a large room, a large chamber of comparable size to that antechamber that you guys had been in before. 4 massive pillars hold up the high ceilings. And in the center of the room is a ring of 8 great welkin stones. These are welkin stones about the same size as maybe about the size of a dumpster. They're all arranged in a large circle, and they're glowing blue with magicka, and beams of magic are streaming from these to a large bubble hovering in the center of the circle, maybe about 5 feet above the ground. And inside that bubble, you guys can see Lyra inside, suspended and trapped by ethereal chains.
I like trains.
At the base of the bubble, you guys see an orc wearing robes. He has his hands up as if he was in the middle of a ritual, and when you guys enter the room, he turns. And on either side of him are 2 high elf mages who are also kind of they're adding their own magic to the bubble. And as you guys scan the room, you also find that there's also some more orcs clad in heavy plate armor. And the orc the orc cultist looks to the 2 wizards and just says, "Keep the ritual up. We'll dispose of these interlopers." And we will keep the current initiative order, but I need to add these guys to the initiative.
Okay, so there's the orc dude and 2 castery dudes doing the ritual. And what else? Because you kind of cut out.
The 2 caster dudes, there are 4 orcs standing near each, like one orc per pillar. They're also heavily armored.
Okay.
Yeah, so what you can see is those 4 orc fighters, an orc cultist in the center, and 2 high elf cultists who are funneling magic into whatever this ritual is.
Okay.
Okay. Top of the turn order is Zira.
Okay. She glances to, or between, like, Lilith, Emery, and Tashtar, and says, "Take out their casters," as she moves to the closest orc.
That's great, because that was my plan.
Okay. So you rush toward the closest orc. That would be the...
Yep.
So the entrance of... Like, this is a large rectangular room. The nearest orc is on a pillar in the southeastern corner of the room, which is right next to where the door is. So Zira rushes in.
Is her rage still active, or do I need...
Rage is still active.
Okay. Does a 20 hit?
No. Yes, it does.
Okay. What? I mean, it could miss.
It hits.
Okay. That is 12 points of damage.
Alrighty. So you start slashing at him. You said 12?
Start flashing him.
Does a 19 hit?
Hold on. Yes.
Okay. For 10 points of... Wait, sorry, another 12 points of damage. I can maths.
Okay.
And 30 that is also a 19. And that is 14 points of damage. Wait, sorry, 16 points of damage. I keep forgetting my rate.
Okay. He takes quite a beating, and he gives out a loud war cry. It's in a dialect of Orcish that you don't quite recognize. But he swings at you. And as he does so, he seems almost shrouded in some sort of like weird black mist. And he's going to hit at you for 17 versus your AC.
Nope.
That's okay. He follows it up with his upswing. And also misses.
Because I'm a dick, I'm going to spend a stamina point so I can use my reaction to shank him for missing me.
Okay.
Okay.
Shouldn't have missed.
Should have been this.
And a 20 hits him. And she tells him in Orcish, your failures will be your undoing.
Shit.
For 13 points of damage.
That last jab goes in right behind his knee, and he collapses to the ground and begins to bleed out.
The last memory he had was of a child half his size telling him, "You fucked up."
The other 3 orcs start running toward the doorway that you guys are in. 2 of them will reach you. The third one still has a little ways to go. And both of them are going to be attacking at you.
At me?
Yes.
Yay!
First one misses with his first attack, and crits with his second.
Ooh. Oof. Oof.
Oof.
And that'll be 16 slashing damage to you.
Which is now just an 8.
The second one. Okay. So they also were kind of responding to the effects of the war cry, and therefore kind of had advantage on you. And I kid you not, I just rolled 2 20s.
All right.
So you're being crit on that one as well.
No worries.
For 21
No
damage.
fear. One fear.
And then his upswing. 18.
That misses.
Very nice. All right. And then next up is Tashdar.
Okay. How far away are the casters?
The 2 casters are in the center of the room, easily a good 70 feet away.
You cut out right as you said how far away.
They're easily a good away. A good 70 feet away.
Okay, there you go.
You cut out
Third
literally the
time's the
same.
charm.
The
70.
second time I cut out was actually me pausing simply to wig you out.
Okay.
Because I'm mean like that.
70 feet?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, Josh, you're not giving information anymore.
I'm gonna feline agility myself over there then.
Like the distance
Alrighty.
is now a mystery.
So
Yep.
you can't use feline agility a second time until you have had a turn in which you do not move at all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
I won't be using feline agility to get over there. Instead,
You have to try regular agility.
yes. I'm going to just not move for a turn, I guess. This turn. And
You're
use
just gonna
Eldritch-
sit on. It's like lay
gonna
down on
sit-
the
I'm just
ground.
just gonna stand here for a moment and use Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Sit on the ground and lift up his leg and start cleaning himself.
Which cast are you going to aim at? One of the high elves or the orc?
The orc.
Okay.
Gotta go for Orku.
Orc.
Does a 12 hit?
It does not. Your Eldritch Blast flies through the air, and when it hits his black robes, the robes seem to almost shimmer for a brief moment before the spell fades away.
It's dumb.
They shimmer with like this like reddish light.
Shimmer with
Can I-
evil.
Can you?
Can I make a check now, or should I wait until my turn to make a check?
Well, I mean, it is your turn.
Okay. Can I do an Arcana check?
Yeah.
I have absolutely no confidence that this is gonna work, but
What are you doing an Arcana check for? I should ask.
to try to see why he's all shimmery.
Oh,
Right
you don't.
now.
You don't even have to do an Arcana check for that.
Okay.
It's fairly easy to surmise that he's wearing some sort of enchanted robes.
Okay. So I'm assuming magic either won't do anything or will do very little.
Possibly.
Great. That's why I wanted an Arcana
Yeah,
check
you-
to get a better answer. Then, maybe. Try it out. You'll see, loser.
Loser.
Well, they're 70 feet away, so I'm not gonna run up and physically attack them anytime soon. Well, I guess I'll just move 35 feet.
Okay. So you kind of work your way around just out of the reach of the orcs to get closer. And now, because of that circuitous path, you're now about 20 feet away, or not 20 feet away from them, 50 feet away from them.
Great.
If you have a ranged attack, you still have the opportunity to do it.
I mean, I don't want to waste magic. Like, I know nothing about this. I just saw a spell supposedly fail, whether be it Duncan's low roll or Duncan's like adequate roll. Or
Fair.
the fact that, magic's not going to do any damage to him. So I'm just not going to do anything if I don't know more.
Fair.
Magic armor doesn't protect you against area effects. Regular armor doesn't either.
So from behind you guys, Wrothgar charges forward toward the orcs to help Zira out. And so he's going to go swinging his swords at the first orc, the first one that had attacked Zira. With a lovely unnatural 26. And let's see here. There it is. That's 11 plus Does 19 total 19 total damage to him.
Nice.
And he's laughing the whole time, Zira, and like his blades flourish just as fluidly and expertly as yours do. So he knows his shit. And then he has one more attack. With which he hits. And once again. Uh, 23 damage this time. This guy is now looking, not the Khajiit, but the orc is now looking very much so worse for the wear. He's whittled him down quite a bit for you. Moving on to the Altmer. The Altmer wizards continue their weird Daedric chanting toward the bubble. And you guys can see streams of light kind of lifting off of their fingers and off of their staves into the bubble, which the magic itself to the bubble seems like it's spinning even though Lyra is being held in one place. And they're focused entirely on that. Jilinak.
Yes. Alright, how many like during that whole circle?
Right now there are 3 orcs trained on Zira. There's an orc mage toward the middle of the room. And 2 Altmer wizards also in the middle of the room funneling their magic into the ritual.
Gee. Alright. I'm thinking of doing a fruit throw dodge.
At whom?
Huh?
At whom?
At the orc coming after Zira, but I could stop the elf, summoning wherever they're summoning. But I think I'll get near Zira, or I'll fruit through as the orcs coming onto Zyra.
Okay. So Fusrada functions just like Thunderwave. So you shout. And let's see here. So you guys just hear a loud Fusrada! And Zira, you need to make a Constitution saving throw. As does Sarathudar and all of the orcs. Well, all but one of the orcs.
$26.
Woo!
I'm still taking half damage though, so.
Yeah.
Stop doing area effects with your friends in the way.
Zira and Sarathudar are have both succeeded on their save. But the orcs, on the other hand, both are going to take the 2d8 damage and will be pushed away from Zira and Sarathudar.
Cool.
And as you do so, dust and rubble just get thrown across the room along with the orcs.
Now the real question is as they are forced out of my threat range, can I op one of them?
I'm gonna say no on that one. Because opportunity attacks are often you're anticipating their movement, whereas you didn't necessarily anticipate someone yelling a wave of force from behind you.
Fair. Though this is not the first time he's done that.
It's not.
And probably definitely won't be the last. And I will probably be shot to blast again.
Well,
So,
you shouldn't have gotten away then.
There were other dudes.
so
Nowhere near
Reven,
me.
Reven, go ahead and roll your 2d8 thunder damage.
I did. I got an 8.
8 total. Okay, so
Yeah, 8.
Zira and
Oh wait, like did I roll like 2d8 or like add like d8 plus?
no 2d8.
Okay. Okay. All right. So 6. I got 13 actually. Joshua.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Zira and Sarathadar kind of stagger just a little bit. The orcs, on the other hand, take the full brunt of the force. One of the orcs goes flying back, and his head actually smacks against the pillar that is closest to the door, closest to you guys. And when he falls to the ground, he does not get back up. The other orc kind of staggers back and skids across the floor just a little bit, and he's still moving. Next up is the orc mage. So he lifts up a staff, and you guys see just this electricity start to crackle along its shaft, and
Please don't say shaft.
shaft.
Screw up, you guys.
He gently
Just say
strokes
shaft.
the rod and shoots lightning.
And he is going to start shooting electricity out at the group. He saw the sudden burst of force from the orc, so he's going to be aiming for the orc who yelled.
Shit.
And how does a 25 do you?
25
Versus your AC.
That's my AC. That will hit, yeah.
Okay.
But can I? Or it is too late to like do like what was it? Reflect. No. Or yeah, let's see. Okay, patient defense, which is like once to dodge.
It does what to dodge?
One stamina to dodge. Like, can I use up like one of my?
Does it say that it can be used as a reaction?
I actually have no idea. Let me check.
No, it's on your turn. Like you can use that to take the dodge action, which lasts until your next turn.
Okay.
All
right.
And electricity is going to fly across the room, and is going to it's going to hit you for 33 lightning damage.
33.
33. Oh wait, no, that's not 33. That's not 33. That's my bad. That's 6 lightning damage.
Like, fuck, man, you gave me a
Instantly kills me. That's a very important distinction.
I rolled percentile dice and read them as percentile dice.
She Foos Rodad, and then the orc turned around and one hit killed her. Like, fuck you, dragon person.
That's a lot better. Just like, fuck.
Now that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Like, fucking hell, dude, no.
And right after he does that, he slams his staff down into the ground, and the dust around him kind of blows outward, and those of you in the party who have some sort of magical sense begin to feel a crackling in the air.
He's about to Foos die.
Next up is Emery.
Okay. So, I just want to ruin all of their days. Yeah. How far am I from the chick in the bubble?
The two near the bubble, they're about 70 feet away from you.
Okay. So I can dispel magic, the ritual.
You can certainly try.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna spell the.
Cast it at your highest spot.
It is my highest spot.
Oh, okay.
Where'd my pencil go? Why do I always lose my pencils?
You do this. Why are you like
I don't know.
Why are you like this?
This is the second time she's lost.
There it is. I've shifted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Magical spit. Okay. I choose. Let's see. I choose one creature, object, or magical. Within range, it's 120 feet. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. On a successful check, the spell ends. I get to
Alrighty.
roll 20.
And you're targeting the bubble, right?
Yes, I am targeting the bubble. Whatever I roll plus 5. Yeah, 15.
That's up to a 5th level spell.
Up to a 5th level spell.
So you go to cast this spell, and for a brief moment, there's all this energy glowing around you, and then it fizzles out. And even the stones around the ritual begin to glow brighter, as if they'd absorbed that energy.
You can't shoot magic into the ritual.
Okay.
Kill the caster.
Okay.
Are you able to do anything else on this turn?
No, that's my action.
Okay. Yujin's going to run forward toward the orc that's still on the ground, and he's going to try to coup de grace the guy. And he nat 20s.
Nice.
Damn.
Dealing 9 damage.
Oliver.
All right. Next up is Zira.
Okay. So the orcs that were on me are no longer on me.
Mm-hmm.
How far is the orc mage from me?
The orc mage is about 50 feet away. The orc that was on you is on the floor about 10 feet away from you. And then the third orc, the one that hadn't quite gotten to you yet, is getting close, maybe about 15 feet.
Okay, so the orc who's like 10 feet away, he's not dead yet, right?
He's not dead yet.
Okay, I'm gonna cut him first. Oh wait, he's on the ground, right?
Yep, you've got advantage.
Okay. Sweet. I'm pretty sure that hits him.
Since it is over a 20. For 12 points of damage.
Okay.
My dice just really fucking like that particular number.
God damn.
Okay,
God
is he
damn.
still alive?
He is still alive. He's frantically trying to push Yujin off of him. Yujin had come up and started swinging, and had done some damage, and then was just climbing on top of him, trying to murder him.
Okay, so I just kind of I'll go ahead and attack him again.
Okay.
And he's still on the ground, so advantage. 19 will hit.
19 hits.
$13 points of damage.
Better.
Your sword goes through his shoulder and into the ground, and now he's pinned there.
Oh, okay. Well, I pull my sword out and I move to the orc who is charging.
Okay.
Um, 27 hits, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
That is
11 points of damage.
Okay. And he is now engaged in combat with you.
Okay. So there's just this orc left, right? Aside from the mage.
Well, and the other one that you had briefly pinned to the ground.
Okay, he's not dead.
He's not dead yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he has somebody on him who can finish him off.
Yeah, another angry red guard.
Yep.
Gotta love finishing off those orcs.
The orc is going to swing at you once again. He's going to miss. And then on his upswing, he's going to swing at you for a 20 versus your AC.
Wait, what? You cut out.
On his upswing, he's going to swing at you for 20 versus your AC.
You cut out again.
20 versus your AC.
That hits.
Okay.
You get sliced down.
9 damage to you.
okay.
And the other orc is going to try to push Yujin off of him. And actually succeeds, almost basically throws Yujin a few feet off of him. And then he's going to use his movement action to get back up. So next up is Tashtar.
Okay. So I'm going to use feline agility now that I have not moved
Mm-hmm.
to go to one of the casters.
Okay, one of the Altmer.
They're the closer ones, I assume.
The closest one is the orc, and then the other two are both equidistant from you, about 7, or not 70, about, I think it was 50 feet.
I'm going to go fight. Stab him with my sword.
Which one are you stabbing?
The orc.
Okay.
The orc caster.
Yeah.
Okay. Does an 11 hit?
An 11 does not hit.
Okay.
You swing your sword and miss him. Is there anything else you can do on your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna shielding aura myself.
Okay.
Which gain resistance to all.
Alright. Next up is Lilith.
Just trying to see if there's anything I can really do. Well, I'm 50 feet away from the orc spellcaster. He hasn't moved, correct?
Yeah, he has not moved.
Okay, well. And I can probably surmise at this point that if I use any magic spell, it's just probably not a good idea.
Probably
From
not.
what I've seen. Okay, so I'm gonna just head another 35 feet towards him and
Okay.
hope that I can get there before he's killed.
Alrighty. Srouthadar, having helped dispatch one orc, moves up to try to help you again, Zira. Runs up and hits.
Excuse me.
That's nasty.
You're
Dealing
nasty.
dealing an 18 damage as he quickly parries and like nicks at the orc's sides to try to distract him. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yep.
And then his second attack will also hit. For another 20. And he kind of jumps back from his quick attacks there and smiles at Zira and kind of makes this motion like he's all yours. And then the two wizards continue doing their weird ritual thing, and it's Julinak's turn.
Okay, so just like the two.
What was that?
Is it just the two wizards?
It's the two Altmer wizards, the orc cultist, and then two very much so worse for the wear looking orcs that are still wearing plate armor.
Alright. Alright. Let's see what I can even do with like a I guess I will do fruits for the two alt mirrors.
Alrighty. Go ahead and you shout and let's see. I'm assuming you moved closer to them, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you shout and they try to make their saves. One surprisingly remains firmly in place. And then the other one kind of gets jostled a little bit, and he turns to look at you with a bit of a surprised look on his face, but he wasn't thrown back. Go ahead and do the Dermage.
Alright, the Dermage.
The Damblage.
I got 13.
Okay. So,
Okay.
yeah, they...
And,
oh, go ahead.
okay, I just want to like perform a damage action and hit one of them with my quarterstaff because I can like because I can do an extra attack on turn.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
All right. Right. $21.
21 will definitely hit.
All right, cool. All right, and let's see what was that one. Four. Or actually, no, 6 for damage.
Okay.
Okay, so that's like my turn.
All right. Next up is the orc mage. And he slams his staff on the floor again, and that magic becomes even more palpable around him. Amrit, with that second pound on the ground, you can sense a significant amount of necromantic energy building up around him. You're not sure exactly what he's doing, but like he could be summoning something, he could be building something, or he could be trying to do some sort of very complex spell, but regardless of what it is, it's necromantic in nature. It is your turn.
Okay. Let's see. How far is everyone from me? My party members, I mean.
So probably... You haven't really moved very far into the room, have you?
Correct.
In which case, the closest party member to you would probably be about 50-ish feet away. Raven over at the orc.
Okay.
And Toshtar, I think he's over there too.
Never mind on that one.
And Lilith, I think she's also by that orc.
Yeah, I'm about 15 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay, this orc mage dude.
Mm-hmm.
Is he the one that got all shimmery when someone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna. I'm gonna toll the dead the orc that Zira is currently fighting.
Okay.
So willpower saving throw, please.
Alrighty. And he got a 2. Or not 2, he got a 10.
Okay. So he takes 14 damage.
So right after Srothadar gestures to Zira as if to say, he's all yours, skeletal hands start sprouting up out of the ground and quite literally tear him to shreds. Not Srothadar, the orc.
It's like, he's all yours.
And then I motion.
Why?
I indicate in some way, shape, or form the orc mage and yell to get him before he gets his spell off.
Okay. Yujin hears what you're saying and kind of looks at him, looks back at the orc that he was fighting, looks back at him and kind of nods and just starts charging toward the orc caster. The orc nearest to him gets an op and whiffs. And his movement ends just shy of where he'd be in range. So next,
That's okay.
Yeah. Next up is Zira, whose movement is likely much better.
Well, I mean, I had already moved to the orc who is 15 feet away from where I previously was.
Yeah.
Which was already a ways into the room. No, wait, I moved 10 feet and then the 15 feet.
Yeah, the 15
last
closed.
turn.
Yeah.
Well, because I had to move 10 feet to the one orc and then 15 feet to the orc who hadn't gotten up to me yet.
Mm.
So I only have, 20 feet left to hit the orc mage?
About 25, yeah.
Okay. I also rush him. But I reach him, so that works out perfectly well for me.
This is just terrifying. This, short little girl just ah!
Yup. Okay.
It's like my sister when she gets angry.
Attack numero uno. Nat 20?
Hits.
I would hope so. for 28 points of damage.
Okay.
Second attack.
Mm-hmm.
19 plus 8 is 27 to hit.
Okay. Your blade kind of after a few hits, your blade slips right between his ribcage, and even as his breath begins to fail him, he just looks at you, smiles, and just goes, "You're already too late," and then slumps over and off of your blade. And as he does so, you see this like white energy leave his body and get pulled into one of the Welkin stones.
Okay. But he's dead.
He's dead.
Okay.
He's dead.
How close is the next mage?
The other mages are not too far away. Like, they're a good, like, maybe 20 feet away.
I need to know how close.
About 20. About 20 feet.
About 20?
About 20.
Okay. So, there's a corpse in front of me. I move 5 feet towards one of them, since I have the remaining 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I throw my sword at one of them.
That's one way to do it.
A fucking
One way to do
story.
things.
Yeah, nat 20.
Fuck, really?
Fuck you, Altmer.
Jesus.
Wow.
She's just like, I might be too late, but that guy's gonna die too, so never. God.
We need to put your dice on timeout for being too good.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is previously I'd been rolling just barely enough to hit. I have a +8 to my attack.
Wow.
Go ahead and
They work hard when the time counts, okay?
go ahead and do your damage.
Hold on. That will be 25.
Holy fucking shit.
Okay. Still standing. He's got a sword in him, but he's still standing.
Okay.
It's only a flesh wound.
Should I adrenaline rush?
Sure, get him out of the way.
Okay, I adrenaline rush. I throw my other sword. Does a 20 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
So now there are 2 swords embedded in this Altmer.
Hold on.
Oh my god, no.
Leave me alone.
Stop, he's already dead. Well, not really.
16.
The second sword flies over, embeds itself in him, and he slumps over. He was holding up pretty well with the first sword, and then the second sword came, and he's just like, the way his body slumps over, it's as if just anything holding him up just simply stopped, and he ragdolled. And
I still have 2 attacks.
good God.
So I'm going to throw my daggers at the other Altmer.
So about you being the murder machine and that being a very apt name.
God, this girl needs to calm down. Somebody, anyone, calm her down, please.
She's so angry. 24 to hit.
She's so angry. You're like
Which
a
hits.
Lot. You're like so full of rage, yet you're so tiny.
Oh, God.
Wait, how many weapons do you have?
I
5,000.
originally had 6. I now only have 4.
Oh my god.
At least one of
Got
which
all
she
these
made.
daggers attached to your legs.
One
and
of
shit.
which she made herself.
Yes.
And
I'm
another,
very proud of that one. That's the one I've been marking off my kills on.
and then the other one is a dagger given to her by the Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
the first
the
one that I
ebony
throw is
blade.
just my regular dagger,
And then that blue wall.
which does
9 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When that dagger hits him, he drops his staff, turns around, drops to his knees. He goes, "I yield! I yield!"
He's like sitting there. No. The problem being is she's raging right now and doesn't give a shit.
Fuck. What's with the
She's
sassy
raging in her adrenaline rush. This guy's fucked. Stop! We need to know how to stop this spell.
What's with this angry lost child?
But he knows how to stop the ritual.
You can
Well,
attempt to
that's-
persuade her to stop.
Okay, stop, please. He's already dead.
Because otherwise she's blade of woeing this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay,
What do we need?
I want to try to stop her a little bit. Like, dude, chill out.
Yeah, I think all of us are trying to do that.
Like, even Strothadar's
Like on top of her.
Strothadar's off on the edge of the room, just like, nope, no, I'm not getting in the middle of that. So, who's the lead person trying to convince her to stand down?
Probably me
Um,
because it's my daughter at risk.
That is very much so logical.
Just
Go
saying.
ahead. Go ahead and make a persuasion check at advantage because you're being assisted by everybody else.
Like,
And because so
Is
many people,
persuasion is it with personality?
yes.
Oh my god, I have a +5. All right.
And then for the contested portion of it, and because so many people are trying to calm you down, Zira, go ahead and make a willpower saving throw at disadvantage.
Yeah, it's a nat 20.
Okay, disregard that saving throw.
I was like,
What do you say to her to try to get her to calm down?
I say, oh my god, I was thinking about what to say and then I forgot while I was talking to you, and now I'm like really sad that I forgot. I'll just say something along the lines of,
calm the fuck
remember
down.
we're doing this quest to save my daughter, or something like that.
Mm. And Zira?
Yeah.
Okay. She kind of stops for a moment with the blade of woe in her. And she like kind of lines up like she's gonna throw it at the guy and tells him like he better cooperate or his soul will be sent to the void.
Soul will feel woe.
Go ahead and do an intimidation check with that. As if this guy needs more intimidating, but
He has like 3 weapons in him.
No, there's 2 weapons in the other guy.
Oh, okay.
There's
I thought it
one
was
weapon
all
in this
in
dude, but
this
he
guy.
just watched me murder his friend from
Slaps the roof of cultist. This little guy can hold so many swords in him.
So many swords.
So that's a
So many
19.
swords, so little time.
It's a personal armory
he
in a dead body.
he's pretty much cowering there. He's like, I'll do whatever. I'll do whatever. Just don't kill me. Well, just tell me what you want.
Reverse the ritual.
What you really, really want.
He kind of looks up at you. He's got tears running down his face in addition to the nosebleed. He just goes, "There's nothing I can do to stop it. Once it's started, it's automatic. It's just putting more power into it is just meant to speed it up."
Then how do we stop it?
You can't. So, and he kind of pauses and looks up at Lyra. He goes, "She's trapped. She's caught in a bubble between Coldharbour and Tamriel. The only thing you can do is someone needs to trade spaces with her, and I suppose once that's done, a surge of magicka from within could overload the stones, but that'll collapse the entire room.
I'm gonna walk up to him and tell him that I'll take her place.
He looks at you. He's like, if you do that, you'll die.
Better than my daughter dying.
Aww.
Anybody else have any input, or?
I mean, I was going to volunteer, but
You
sure,
might
go ahead.
you might want someone with more magical ability. I don't know exactly, but I'm not volunteering. But
And
I mean, you can if you want to.
and Jeffrey, as you know, you come from a long line of Dunmer mages.
Yep.
All I hear Zero was gonna be like, "You want to repent? Get in the."
Can I? Okay, hang on. Since I love Raven, but in all honesty, I've only seen her take everything off of bodies that had some sort of value at all.
Fucking what?
Can I go over to Duncan and give him the ring that she communicated with me through and just say, give this to her when she comes back?
Oh,
What?
Okay.
Hey, just because like you gave me your ring doesn't mean... Alright, I'm not
Hey,
that cruel.
I don't know if you'll steal it or not.
I wouldn't steal it.
I guess I'm just the holder of the rings now.
All the rings.
Now you just
Uh-huh.
need the
My
one
sword's back in
ring.
my hands.
Yeah, maybe don't turn this ring into the one you have, Duncan.
Now you just need
Don't
the
worry, I
one
won't mix
ring
them up.
to rule them all.
Yep.
From
Gonna throw his ring into.
from within the bubble, Zira's looking back at you, and she's kind of moving and almost like screaming at you with tears running down her face, like she's screaming, "No, don't do this!" And then the Altmer mage looks at you. He's like, "Are you sure it's a one-way trip?"
How do I do it?
And he points at his staff. He's like, "Use the staff, touch the bubble, and it will do the rest of the work for you."
All right. No, it's never mind. Okay. Then I'll take the staff and go up and touch the bubble.
Okay. What you guys see is she takes the staff, she walks up and touches the staff up against the bubble, and she's immediately like slung up, suspended into the air with these ethereal chains just already kind of coming from her wrists out to the welcome stones. And this trail of energy forms between the bubble and her, and both Lyra and Lilith look like they're being slowly, almost forcibly pulled toward one another until eventually they swap places in a burst of energy. Lyra falls to the ground and kind of gets back up. You catch her, and she kind of works her way out of your arms, like she's trying to run back to the bubble. And she's just screaming, "No, Mother, you can't do this! No!" And the Jeffrey, go ahead and do an Arcana check at advantage.
A what check?
Arcana.
Oh, that's gonna be awful. Okay. That's a 16.
You start sending a pulse of magicka through your body and outward into the bubble, trying to detonate it from the inside.
Okay.
And the mage looks at the rest of you. He says, "If you want to live, I would recommend leaving now. This place only has seconds."
yeah, we need to go.
I grabbed the girl because I'm pretty sure I can outmuscle her.
There you go. That's the spirit.
Mm.
That's fair.
Sarathadar.
Only proving that Zira might be a lesbian.
What?
Hey, we haven't had to talk yet.
I got a 20 on my strength check to just grab the girl and kind of fling her over my shoulder and just start booking it out of the room.
Yeah, you fireman her out of the room. Srothgar runs toward Yujin and is basically doing the same thing. He's dragging Yujin out of the room. The mage looks to you, Amrit, and says, "You guys go. I'm going to stay here. It's my time to go."
Okay.
Man, whatever.
And as you guys are running out of the room, you hear a loud explosion coming from within the bubble, and the 8 Welkin stones all shatter simultaneously, and the shockwave kind of pushes you guys the rest of the way out of the room, even as the ceiling just comes crashing down. And you guys are in the hallway as the rumbling and the sound of the collapsing ends, and it's just silent in the tomb.
Damn.
Save for Lyra's sobbings, and Yujin has moved over to kind of hold her in his arms to try to comfort her. And Srothgar just looks at each of you guys and just goes, "This was not what this one signed up for."
You and me both.
The shit out of here, cat boy.
And you guys make your way to the foyer, and the portal is still there and persistent. Emery, you know that the portal will persist only for another day or so before it just naturally deteriorates and disappears. And once that happens, no one else will ever be able to get into these ruins.
Okay. Do we want to maybe see if there's anything left in the rubble?
If you'd like, yeah.
Sure, why not?
I can explore the rubble with gaseous form.
Why don't you do that, actually? Because you can see if there's a...
Can you bring back the dead? No, I do not have Revivify.
Damn. Okay.
I don't think I have Revivify. I'm pretty sure I don't have...
Searching through the rubble, you find 5 decently sized pieces of Welkin stone that still hum with energy. Each of them's easily worth about 70 septims.
Okay.
In gaseous form, you try to go through the rubble, but there's only so far you can go before the rubble's too densely packed for you to be able to get through. Bless you.
What about the corpses of the cultists?
In the hallway?
No, like the orc mage with the magic robe and the...
Oh, that's all buried under crap tons of rubble.
I want his shit.
Yeah.
That entire chamber collapsed in on itself.
Josh, you cut out.
That entire chamber collapsed in on itself.
So,
Bless you.
can we not find an opening?
Like to get out of the ruins?
No, see if there's an opening.
You try, but you're not able to find anything.
Joanna just basically screams "fuck." Well, we don't really have any more choice anymore.
And
we start walking out.
Modrup looks at you, Zira and Amrit, and says, "I was planning on heading back to Orsinium, but do you know where this child lives?"
I couldn't even hear you. You cut out.
I was going to head back to Orsinium, but do you know where this child lives?
You cut out again.
Yeah, you
Goodness
cut out
gracious.
Same spot.
The exact same spot, yeah.
again.
This is- I was planning on heading back to Orsinium, but do you know where this child lives?
Trial.
One word we had to get through. Come on, internet.
She's asking if you guys know where Lyra lives.
Fuck if I know.
I'm a ghost.
Okay. Yeah, like I personally don't know. I just know.
Those of you who were there for the vision know that she grew up in Daggerfall.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if I was there or not.
You were there.
Daggerfall.
Even.
Yeah, fine.
If she has any relatives there, I can take her there for you.
Guys,
Hmm.
what happened to Pierre?
Oh no.
A little bit of the
Toast.
a little bit of the rubble kind of parts a little bit, and a very dusty Pierre crawls out of the collapsed antechamber, and
Crushed top hat.
yeah, the top hat the top hat's crumpled.
His top hat is crumpled.
His monocle is cracked, and his mustache is crooked. And he kind of gives like this little crab-like sneeze as he coughs a little bit of dust out, and he stops outside.
If Pierre lives.
He stops outside the door and turns around and just is like the crab is standing there looking longingly at the rubble, looking as if he doesn't know what to do with himself anymore.
I hate you.
I scoop up the crab
I was gonna do that.
and I hand it to Lyra.
She takes him. She's like, I remember him from the rings.
Your mother thought this was a pet of some form.
She always had
I knew he was a pet.
She always had
Knew.
she always had a soft spot for small animals.
Apparently.
She's like, well, it's yours now.
And she kind of just like devolves into more sobbing.
Aww,
While
baby.
she's crying, Tosh sort of just.
I go
wordlessly
over and
gives
like
her the
comfort her too.
What's Tosh doing?
He
ring.
gave her
While
the
she's
ring.
Crying, I just sort of wordlessly give her the ring.
More crying ensues.
Aww.
And Zira stands there awkwardly because she does not understand.
She doesn't know what emotions are.
What emotions are other than anger?
She's like, "What is this? Why is there water leaking from your face?
Right?
Do you need a
Well, no,
doctor?"
one of her personality traits is that she expresses affection and contempt in odd ways, and she doesn't quite understand everybody else's customs. So she's just like weird, awkward, like shoulder pat there, like
I
is
give,
this
like-
something new?
You'll
I want to
be
give like
okay?
I want to get Laura a hug, or yeah, Laura a hug.
So you guys do the hugging and stuff like that. You eventually make your way out of the ruins, and past the the unfinished yet destroyed dolmen to the main road. And from there, Modrib looks to you, Julinak. And she goes, "You know, I thought I recognized you."
Oh shit.
I had that same problem last week.
You're that orc that helped my brother get into so much trouble.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't necessarily my fault.
I mean, he made a lot of money off of those heists, and he's, well, at least last time I visited him in Orsinium, he was talking to you as I guess he's been wanting to meet up with you again at some point, but
Hey Josh, out of character. Is that orc the one who wanted
Yes,
the job
it is.
and
Yeah.
is now dead?
no.
Vera just gets this look while they're talking of like, oh fuck.
No,
Yeah, I
and
was thinking.
and Julinak, after a little bit, you realize that she's the brother to your other friend who got into a lot of the heists with you, Nashak.
The shot?
Nashak.
Oh.
And And she often helped tend to your guys' wounds or helped cover for you guys when you guys got into a bit of... She kind of helped tended to your wounds and helped cover your guys' tracks at times after heists.
Oh yeah, now I remember. And I'm just like, oh, it's you.
Yeah.
What was her name?
I put it into the chat.
Okay, Nashaka.
If you're headed to Orsinium, look for him. Tell him I'm okay. I need to get this child home.
Well, I'm gonna go with you. I want to go out with.
So, do the rest of you guys want to accompany them to Daggerfall, or do you want to make your way to Orsinium?
I'm guessing that is way the fucks out of the way of where my job is that I said I was going to do after I saved the girl from being imprisoned.
The blade, the blade of woe is actually humming with satisfaction right now.
It's what?
It's practically humming with satisfaction. And when you take out the papers that you'd gotten from the Dark Brotherhood, you actually see that a name has been crossed out.
Oh, cool! I killed somebody. Awesome. But it's not the guy I was originally gonna hunt down, so I still have that asshole.
Hey, happy accidents.
Did we out of
Happy
curiosity
accident.
people in the hallway?
The toasty corpses?
Yeah, you guys were able to get about 3 septums apiece off of them, and a little bit of pocket lint. One person had a pretty fancy-looking rock. Wasn't really worth anything. He just thought it looked cool.
You taunted me with all these magical items in the big room and then took them away from me.
Yup.
So, but yeah, it's up to you guys as far as what direction you want to head. If you want to head southeast to Daggerfall, or if you want to head northwest to Orsinium.
I want to go along like with her, like, you know, make sure like they both get there safe. But if anyone else like don't really want to, I
tell the Red Guard who we saved.
Mm-hmm.
For him to go with her.
He nods slowly. He looks like he's had a very long day.
Yeah, I also asked the Khajiit that was helping us
Yes.
if he would not mind assuring that the girl gets home safe.
This one has. This one gives you his word. And he even reaches into his pack and pulls out like a coin, and it's not a normal septum. It's got a different logo kind of engraved into it, and he says, "If you happen to find another thieves' den, be sure to give them this token. If ever you need my help, they will use this coin, and I will be there as fast as I can."
Okay. She puts the coin in her pocket.
And then Sarathadar, Yujin, Lyra, and Madrub all start heading toward Daggerfall, and you guys set your eyes toward the cold and snowy northern reaches of Wrothgar, where the great city of Orsinium awaits. So yeah. And that's a good stopping point. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. I will also include a link in the description leading you to the website for the unofficial Elder Scrolls tabletop role-playing game, where you're able to download this and even provide some donations to the developer, who has done an amazing job of converting the 5th edition rule set. Anybody else have anything to say before we wrap up?
No,
subscribe or a portal will suck you in.
Yep. There you go.
Alrighty.
The way to get people to like your stuff is to threaten them.